Perfect.
And you are live.
Wonderful. Well, I have 11 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and start. First off, I want to say that this is going to be very interactive with all of you that are here. I have 33 people that are here. So I'm going to be randomly calling on y'all. So be prepared for that. And you also will probably want to have something to write with, as the slides are kind of designed in such a way that you can literally quickly write notes and then copy. Sound good? Yes, yes, Laura, Cynthia, yep, all of you, cool. All right, so this is the 5-year plan. I think it's very important for you guys to have a 5-year plan. If you were on the next level training that was last week, Erin went over your goals for 2021. And so this is kind of just taking that a step further. So how it will start is we'll actually talk about kind of the broad strokes of 5-year plan. And then we'll get down into the nitty-gritty and getting into 30-day habit forming practices. So the first step in creating a 5-year plan is actually figuring out what your skills, your values, your achievements, and your interests are. An important part of any focusing regimen is to set aside time at the end of the day, just before going to sleep, to acknowledge your successes, review your goals, focus on your success future, and make specific plans for what you want to accomplish the next day. So what I would like you to do is write out what your current skill sets are, your values. So your skill sets could be negotiating. You're really awesome at negotiating, or you're really great at going out and meeting somebody, getting out in front of people. That's actually a skill set. There are some folks out there that are shy and not great in front of a crowd. That's me. There's also, what are some other skill sets? Janet? I just called on you.
How about just your ability to market yourself with confidence?
That's a skill for sure. It's definitely a skill. Finance, Bill Fritz says finance, that's definitely a skill.
Analysis of the market.
Yep, and being able to analyze your market and the different areas.
Organization.
Organization, that's a huge skill set, one that I struggle with. Communication, proactivity, organization, time management, all of those are great skill sets. What about values? What are some of your responsiveness? Honesty, yep, that's a big one. Honest, integrity, doing what you say you're going to do. Reliability, yep. Following up, that's another one. Good one. Consistency is huge in this market. Lori, did you want to add something?
I could say family and faith are also part of my value system.
Awesome. Punctuality, helping people, relatability. Those are great values. All right, so now we're going to get a little personal. What are some of your interests? Beth says empathy. Interests. So some of my interests, gardening. I love gardening, being outdoorsy, hunting, woodworking. That's a good one. Golf, music, travel, all of those things. Yep. Ooh, wait, Bill, you're a master gardener? That's awesome. Boating, theater, camping, food. I love food. Cooking. These are great. So I hope you guys have written down some of your interests and then achievements. What have you guys, what are some of the things that you're proud of? You're most proud of? Could be a transaction that you were really, really hard or worked really hard at. Passing the real estate exam your first time. That's awesome, Jeanette. Is it Janet or Jeanette? Janet.
Janet. Yeah.
Being a mom, Dorothy says. Warren says passing real estate exam. My kids, for sure. That's definitely an achievement. Independence, going through a contract, getting me my GIT, making it through college on my own. That's awesome. Ooh, Cynthia, you got your GRI? Taylor's, what is something that you're, an achievement you're proud of? Hit my sales goal for the year. Awesome. What was your sales goal? Do you mind sharing?
It was $1 million for my first year, so.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
I just thought speaking would be easier than typing. It takes me a while to type.
That is awesome. Wonderful. Cynthia, did you have something to add?
No,
Oh, okay. I was just checking in.
no, that's okay.
So in order to create your 5-year plan, we need to figure out what skills and knowledge are going to be required. So your current position, your realtors, your required skill was that you had to get your classes done and you had to pass your real estate exam. You needed basic knowledge of what a contract looked like, but you didn't necessarily have any other knowledge per se going forward. So what I want you to do is figure out a year 1 goal, just a broad stroke goal that you want to do. And what skill and knowledge is going to be required for that year 1 goal. Warren, what's your year 1 goal? Since you're brand new in my office, I want to know. Whoop, Warren just left. I think he clicked the wrong button. Oopsies. All right, well, I'm calling on somebody else. David Bonner, I know you're brand new. So what's your year 1 goal?
My first goal is to make at least 60,000 my first year.
Oh, there's Warren. He's back. You clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, I went to answer you and I just hung up on all y'all. Sorry. Year 1 goal is 2 million.
2 million? Awesome. What do you think is going to be your required skill set?
I'm going to have to get out and talk to a lot of people and rely on my sphere of influence. I'm from the area, so I'm just going to talk to everyone I know and let them know what's going on and let them know how I can help.
Awesome. Taylor, what about you? What's your next year goal?
Yeah, I think doubling sales, so 3 million numbers wise, and then yeah, the skills and knowledge. I think just staying consistent is key, especially with lead generation.
Awesome. Awesome. We have some, okay, so Catherine says getting my first listing. That's exciting. Laura says manipulate DocuSign and writing contracts with ease. Frank, get through my first 10 transactions and close the deals. That's a pretty good goal. 100, Rich says 100,000 in GCI. So what's your year 3? So let's think about 3 years from now. Where do you want to be? What's your income look like? What's your house look like? What's your car look like? All of those things that are the physical things. And then how much travel are you doing? What do you know, what kind of experiences are you having 3 years from now? And then debt-free. Oh, I love that. Phyllis says debt-free. That's an awesome goal in 3 years from now. I'm gonna make that one mine too. I like that. Samuel says buying my first house. That's a good 3-year goal from now. Jameer says to have, in 3 years, he wants to have income producing properties. Janet says traveling in my new RV I buy with my real estate income. I like that. I did that. Actually, I did that year 5. We got an RV year 5. That was my goal from 5 years ago. We finally got it. So, minimum 15 transactions per year. Welcome my first kid. That's a good one, Alejandro. Finish remodeling my home. Buying my first home, Lori Potter. Lead many people to Christ and paying off house. That's an awesome one, Bill. Being the breadwinner after my husband retires. Carol, that's awesome. Okay, so now 5 years. What's your 5-year goal? Going on an African safari, that sounds amazing, but I'm also scared to death of malaria. So okay, so Taylor, is that your 5-year goal? Or 3? 5? Cool. 2-week vacay in Fiji. Have a steady income. Have plenty of time to travel. African safari sounds cool too. Nancy says 5 years being a rock star real estate agent and paying off my ranch. Ooh, yeah, that sounds awesome. Lori Potter, so you want to become a broker in 5 years. We can help you get there. Frank says, watching my daughter graduate. Warren says, buy a boat. Samuel, build wood shop. Alejandro says, rely mostly on referral business. That's actually a really good plan, business plan. I like all of these. So now next we're gonna actually plot down the steps to actually plan to follow your progress. I'm sorry, plot the steps you plan to follow to progress. Oh yeah, to follow to progress your career, including but not limited to education, experiences, transactions, and the number of people you need to help every year. So 6 months from now, how many people do you need to help either in finishing a transaction, getting to the end goal to be able to get to where you want to be? So if you're thinking year 1, you want to be here, take half of that, put it in 6 months from now. And then how many people do you need to help to get there? Year 2, or I'm sorry, and then year 1, that's going to be your number of transactions that you want to do. Year 3, you're going to figure out how many transactions are you going to need to be able to get to year 3. So what I like to do is year 1, double that. Year 2, take that year 1 doubled, and then you're going to add an additional half. So kind of take the year 1, add that back, and so year 2, and then that should be your year 3 number. So basically times year 1 by 2.5. Does that make sense? Clear as mud, kind of. And then year 5, theoretically, how are you going to get there? How many transactions are you going to need to get there? Hey, Tammy. Warren, how many transactions did you end up to need for year 5 to get you there?
Year 5, I was looking at 10 million. So what is that, 40?
Yeah.
Got some big goals.
You do. That's awesome. I see 4 people. So the question is, then are you going to focus on the, getting 40 transactions, smaller transactions, or are you going to focus on getting larger transactions and doing fewer of them?
Larger transactions would be great.
Yes. That was something where initially I was like, oh, I'm going to do 20 transactions a year. And then I started doing 20 transactions a year. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I do the same amount of work, but make more money? Well, you go for the higher paid stuff. And then you start figuring out how to actually get more commission per transaction.
Okay.
So now we're going to talk about the obstacles. Every time you make a plan, life always gets in the way consistently. So what are some obstacles that you might face trying to get just to year 1? What are some of the obstacles that you kind of foresee? Obviously, none of us foresaw COVID. That happened. What was the solution? Well, we had to shift our focus from meeting people in person to getting to know people online and virtually. And how do we perform virtually? We had to do listings virtually. We had to do all of those things virtually. Rejection, apprehensive calling people. Yep. Sickness of a relative that you have to care for. That's very true. Starting at 0 and working to build a database. Those are all obstacles. So I'm gonna start picking on certain of you. So Jameer, you're being told that you're too young.
Yeah, I've been told already on like 3 or 4 occasions when I'm prospecting that, oh, you're too young. You just barely graduated high school. How are you supposed to know about the real estate market? But that's why I'm working on my property knowledge at this moment to get it up to that level.
Yeah. What do you think some solutions to that objection would be?
Just getting out there and getting to talk to people, getting them to know me, letting them get to know me so they can know that, oh, he actually does know about real estate. He's just not a 20-year-old kid that just decided to get his real estate license, because I'm trying to be in this for a while.
Yeah, I can say I started in my 20s and I looked like I was in my teens whenever I started. I sympathize with that because I was told on numerous occasions. My one bit of advice that I got from JB was learn the numbers. If you can talk numbers, a lot of people start to understand that, oh, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about because they're able to just spit off numbers like it's nothing. It comes off as very impressive and it won't matter your age at that point. So I would say the solution, a good solution would also be getting to know your numbers. Beth, most of my sphere isn't at a house buying stage. The solution is getting good at rentals. That's true. Janet, you're being told you're too old. Well, I'm going to say the exact same thing. Get to know the numbers. Get really comfortable in talking numbers. People will consistently start to go, oh, wow, she's been in it. She's been through some stuff. She knows what she's talking about. Swan says, use your resource, your team, and your strengths for sure.
Yeah, actually, Andrea, can I add to that?
Go for it.
So guys, for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually a trainer in the Northwest office, and I started when I was 22, and I had a lot of knowledge in real estate because my parents did it, but people don't see that when they see that, you know, like Andrea, you look like a teenager, right? But the thing that I have to tell you is, number one, once you recognize how much info you have access to, you're not going to be afraid of anything. Like literally, you have such an amazing team behind you. The first time I had $1 million plus listing appointment, I emailed JB and I said, do you have 15 minutes for a phone call? And he said, no, come on over. And anytime you guys have any question, if you just understood the access that you have in terms of resources, like Andrea, like the whole team, anytime you have a question, more like at least one person or more can get you the right answer. So once you embrace that and you can communicate that to your clients, you will never have experience as a problem ever. And the other thing that I put there is know your strengths. Jameer, one of the things that I said when I was younger or newer, right? When I was younger and newer, is I would tell them, but you know what? I'm here. I care about you. I'm hungry and I'm willing to work my butt off for you. And people want that. Like people would rather have that. Oh yeah. They would rather have your, your attention than be on some, really busy agent's like to-do list. And that matters. And I know another agent said, hey, I'm inexperienced or something, so I'm going to work with rentals. I got to tell you guys, I embraced rentals from the get-go and my business exploded. And here's why. Every renter becomes a future buyer, and every renter leaves an investor and goes to an investor. So for me, that's my sweet spot. And I got to tell you, the truth is when I started, people didn't do rentals that much. They didn't care about it. They were just handing me the leads for free. And I respected every single one of those people. And I wanted, the quick income. But the unintended consequence of that was I got to learn the process much faster. I learned how to qualify my clients. I learned how to get them to sign paperwork. I learned how to show property. I did all that much faster because you're going to have a lot more experience gained doing that than waiting for the 1 or 2 buyers every like month or two. And also, I connected with those investors, which is huge right now. So I would encourage you guys to think of like, what are your strengths, and then present those. And I had talked with Hamir, who helped me out in running a project. And I told him, you don't need to tell people that you're brand new, right? Like there's that, it's almost like saying an excuse, right? Like you don't need to tell them that. Tell them why you're awesome. Tell them that you are driven. You're trying to, you're trying to conquer a goal right now. You're trying to help people. Just have those strengths ready to go, and, put energy and attention to those things instead of talking about, the things that you might see as a weakness or as a setback. So anyways, but those are my 2 things. The biggest one really is get to know your resources. Like my favorite thing is the square one. When you are going through square one, it's all the top agents for the company volunteering their time to teach you stuff. And when I went through it, I wrote down all of their names and what I could go to them for, because clearly they're at the top of their game. So sorry, that was a rant.
And you'll be able to find a lot of your solutions by connecting directly into those folks. Swan and I are here for you, and we're all here for you. We all want to see you succeed. So anytime you have any sort of questions or concerns, or you come up to an obstacle and you can't think of the solution, come to us. We are here. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is, so we're going to start drilling down into, we've talked about your overview of what your 5-year plan is. We've talked about kind of your 6 months from now. Now I want to talk about your quarterly preview, your 90-day plan, what you should be focusing on in the next 90 days. So this quarter, my focus is on getting a lead gen. Yes. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Hadija? Hadija? Lead gen, prospecting. Yep. Khadija. Okay.
Khadija. Yeah.
KJ.
Call me
All right,
KJ.
I will. Do you have any, KJ, do you have any other things that you want to focus on this quarter?
Yeah, for me, it's really lead gen just to start off with. I graduated UTSA. I'm in San Antonio.
Okay.
So I just know college kids, and most of them already moved away. So my database is like paper thin. And I'm also working, I don't know if you saw my chat earlier, I'm working 3 jobs right now, and I'm just trying to get as many people started as I can. That way I'm able to allocate more time and sort of have that exponential growth in my real estate career.
For sure. For sure. That's, okay, establish myself in a territory. That is Warren's. Do you have any more, Warren?
No, I just need to get out there and let people know that I'm doing it, and hopefully in the area that I'm living, I would like to establish myself and just have people know me and recognize me.
Okay, so that's going to be a big focus for you, is establishing yourself. So what excites you about that? We're going to move on to the next little bit. What excites you?
Well, I'm excited about talking to all these people. I really enjoy talking to people. That's why I got into real estate. I was an accountant for the last 13 years, and you just don't talk to enough people, and I just felt like I was short selling myself. So I'm excited to talk to people and make new friends.
Okay, awesome. And then what are some of the potential obstacles that you think might come in doing
well, COVID right now, it's going to be a little more difficult, I guess, by mailings and maybe door hangers is how I'm going to do it. I'd like to, walk around in palm press, but not too many people wanting to do that right now. So
have you joined some online groups?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay. That might be the
right ones to go to. So
yeah. That might be a solution to the being able to meet in person, is focusing in that effort of online community and building your brand and yourself in that community. David Bonner says, learning the system and feeling more confident with the skills and knowledge. That's what you're excited for?
That's one of my goals. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it too. But, at first, it's just, you're kind of, I feel like I'm learning it and doing it at the same time. Opposed to, I came from management and you're showing step by step, whereas here I'm exploring and testing, which is great. I love it. That's why I chose this field. I love the challenge and everything else. But with it comes the lack of confidence at times of, I hope I don't screw something up, is more or less the fear. So one of my goals is to just, because I know once you do it and I start getting in the routine, because I'm very routine, very consistent, like that is by far one of my strong attributes, is doing those 2 things, even in management. So I know once I learn it, I feel like I can just take with it and just go. But it's getting that confidence until then, like once I get going and rolling, it's just, as I was messaging you the other day, what more can I do? What more can I do? And that's just how I am. I'm a go person. So once I learn those steps to do it, I feel like the sky's the limit and I'm going to take off with it. It's just a matter of getting through these first steps.
For sure.
I'm with David on that. So I think that you had mentioned to try to fill out a backup contract for a $1 option, $1 earnest money. So I kind of gave it a go and I'm failing miserably. Like I am having to look up everything to make sure I get it right. So I'm not done yet, but I still plan on, like, it's good that you
Still
suggested
send it in to me. I still want to help. Okay.
Yeah, because I was focusing more on marketing myself than I was actually on the contracts, and now I realize I really need to also focus on getting those contracts correct.
For sure. It's a lot to take in, especially when you're brand new and you're like, wait, marketing, wait, contract, wait, I need this and this and this. So yeah. Hey, JC, it's like all of it. Cynthia, I see your question there. Online groups, you have a question mark about that. What is your question? Exactly, online groups question.
I just was curious what you mean by online groups.
So in Facebook, if you go to under groups, if you have an interest, so say like my interest is in gardening, there are groups for Central Texas gardeners. There are groups for local gardeners in Georgetown, Liberty Hill, all of those groups. If you join those and you start becoming active in those communities, then you'll start to see who's actually local to you and start connecting in with them, start becoming friends with them. It's a really good way to build your online community and your online network.
I didn't know if you meant groups like that or some groups within real estate somehow.
No, I try and join groups that don't have other realtors in them.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, so I have a bunch of these. Sorry, let me go back up here. I can relate. Excited to get my door hangers out to my neighbors. Just ordered 250 calendars. That was Janet. Dana, calendars are a great idea for sure. Running groups, door knocking.
Hey, Andrea.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Rich Knapp. Hey, do you know, is there anyone at JBGoodwin? I'm in the Westlake office, but it doesn't matter. That's like a really good social media guru. You know, kind of a Facebook, Instagram kind of person.
Edward Toll is really good.
You put his name in the chat.
Yes. Well, you can always come to me.
Okay.
I'm pretty decent.
Oh, are you? Okay.
And then I'm going to say Edward Toll.
Here's my thing. I don't know if, I know probably some people have been on Facebook for a while, and I have. But of course, you know, we all get caught up in, you know, goofy things on Facebook, political jokes, all that kind of stuff. And I've determined the best thing to do with my Facebook page is to delete it and start over. And I know there's ways of doing it that, because what Facebook does, if you have anything that's the same in your new page, it'll right away link everything with your old page.
So do you have stuff on there that you don't want seen or something?
Yeah, you know, and it goes too far back. It's a lot of, you know, I mean, I guess I'm as innocent as anybody about getting caught up in political stuff. And you just can't do that in real estate. You have to be totally neutral, you know.
For sure. Yeah, there's ways of actually going back to past content and deleting it.
I know, I have too much.
Well, so I would say that nobody's gonna like go back that far and look at it. So if you build up the new content, eventually it'll get so far back there that nobody's gonna spend an hour trying to go back to see your political stuff that you probably forgot and accidentally intentionally posted. So just wait and
just keep posting,
you know, and what I would say is post a minimum of twice a week, and then also post in your stories, because what your stories does is it's only there for 24 hours, but it gets you out in front of different people than your normal feed. Because your normal feed, you know, people can hide you for 30 days or they can completely unfollow you, whatever. Stories is a different algorithm. So post in your stories. personal stuff and so this has turned into a Facebook talk, but that's okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. But LinkedIn,
so
that's a big thing, and Facebook is one of those places. Instagram is another one that honestly, there's not a whole lot of agents that are on Instagram and that are marketing on Instagram. It's very, very few. I think the running joke is if you're lonely, post on Facebook that you're looking for a realtor and you'll have 120 friends immediately.
Yeah.
So just, I would suggest looking at, yes, Facebook is one of those, but get more active on Instagram, get more active on LinkedIn, because not enough agents well, honestly, there are plenty of agents on there, but there are more buyers and sellers on those places that do not have connections with realtors. KJ, I see that you're shaking your head like, yep, I know, for sure. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, thank you. Because it's part of my goals, so I thought it would be apropos. So, all right. Well, thanks for your help.
Yep. And honestly, that's one of your obstacles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
Political crap that shouldn't have been done. Yeah.
Yeah, Rich, I was going to say, I agree with you as far as the Facebook stuff is concerned. I have a personal account. I've had it for, I don't know, 15 years or so, and I haven't actually been active on it in the last 9 years. I just don't use it. I have no interest in it, but obviously I'm going to have to make the switch to being involved on the online Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to get into. So that's going to be a learning process for me. It's just not something that I'm interested in personally. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Cool.
All right. Okay. So we've so now we're going to move over to the right-hand side of the page, which is Q1, and you're going to write out your Q1 goal. So what is your goal for Q1 of 2021? And then I'm going to ask you why. Why is that your goal? Sometimes that's a hard question to answer, but your why is important because it keeps you focused. Dana says open houses. David Huffaker, you said create a business page. Yep, you do need to create a business page. Work with active buyer or seller, GRI and open houses. Kristen, Alejandro says have 15 meetings with potential buyers, sellers. Janet says get a client. All right, cool. Conquer the break room of my rental. Wait, what? Jenny, conquer the break room of my rental client.
I want to put some like goodies there, like what the title companies do to us as a real estate agent on our office. So they put some candies there or fruits in there, and then they put their information there. So, and then on our service provider room, they put some hand sanitizer, and of course we love those goodies. So I'm gonna copy their ideas. Put those. I have my rental client already. They love me to send out my information. Might as well just put something in there. Where they work, they put my stuff in there. So
Jenny, what is your Q1 goal though? Because that would be kind of a step to get to a goal.
Oh, okay. 2 closings.
2 closings. Okay, so your goal is 2 closings.
Yeah.
And then why? Why 2 closings?
2 closings because, well, like anybody else, we want to pay ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and to gain more knowledge on that. Every transactions that I finish is you gain knowledge on those situations.
Okay. And then your steps, one of your steps is you're going to start putting out goodies.
Yes.
And then hand sanitizer.
Yeah, any goodies that I could think of, anything that I could see.
What are you going to reward yourself whenever you do get those 2? Like how are you going to reward yourself?
Oh, the closings, of course. I'm gonna buy more stocks.
Yeah. Okay.
Not EXP stocks. Okay. So, and
Awesome.
then just save my money. That's how I want to do it. That's my reward.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'm just now seeing that I had a boo-boo on my slides. Let's do that. Oops. Back. Ah. Oh, well, it's supposed to say Q2 goal. Whoa, my computer's going crazy. All right, stay there, don't move. It's supposed to say Q2 goal, and then your why, and then your steps to get there. So 4 steps to get there, and then what's your reward after you meet your Q2 goal? And then Q3, kind of build on that. Frank says research events. Let's see, do some charitable events that can make me as a realtor and be central focus of the event, get more exposure. That's Frank. Q2, host an event, Leah says. That's really awesome. Beth James, close 4 transactions by myself as a newer, or buy myself a newer car, newer car, she says. Awesome. Okay. Those are some great goals. So now, in the slides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an email and it'll have a link to this. But if you, up here, this 30-day habit tracker, I've actually included a 30-day habit tracker within the presentation. So what you're going to be tracking, well, you're going to figure out what's a new habit that you would like to form in your habit tracker. Why do you want it, or how, and then your why. So how will this habit improve your life? The steps that you're going to need for this habit, and then your reward of how will you create or how will you celebrate your new habit. So you're going to create 6 habits and then 6 whys that are associated with those 6 habits, and then your steps each day. So I'm going to bring this over to this page. Let's see if I can get this. Stop presenting and go back to my window. Back here. Okay, can everybody see the 30-day habit tracker? Yeah? Okay, so you'll be able to print this off and use it. You'll see down here on the left-hand side, it has your 1 habit, 2 habit, your why. So you'll be able to write that out, steps, and then your reward. So you have 4 habits over here. And then over on the right side of the page, you'll flip the page over and then write your habits that you've created in here and then track. Did you do all of those habits for the first, or for your 30 days? It's really important to track your habits, because on the days that you don't do anything and you kind of feel like you haven't accomplished anything, it's because those habits haven't formed fully. I don't know if you guys have read, I think it's just called Habit, Breaking Habits. And it takes 21 days to actually create a habit. So if you can do those things that continue to get you to the point where you are actually making your goal, So do those items over and over and over again. You'll get to your goal. And then from that point, you'll be able to reassess after year 1. Well, how well did you do? Do you want to continue doing that same habit, or do you need to tweak that habit? It's one of those simple things. It could be a simple thing as make your bed in the morning. Like, if that's what it takes in order for you to feel like you've had a great day, then do that. Make that into a habit. One of my habits that I've been working on, and I'm on day 10, and it's pretty brutal, run a mile every morning. So that's one of those habits where I'm like, if I can get through my habit, and today was one of the days where I was like, I don't want to do this. I hate this. But I did it. So the rest of my day is going to be awesome because I've already accomplished the hardest thing of my day, which is run that mile. Anna, so what are some good real estate habits you'd recommend? The one of the big things, and it has nothing to do with real estate, but be active first thing in the morning. Get active, and then that bleeds through the rest of your day. The days where I don't work out, like this was back before I started here as the head of the Wilco office, the days that I didn't work out were the days that were really rough on me. Dana, I'm not a runner either. So I'm not a runner. I don't enjoy running, but it's one of those things where it's a hard thing. But I really want to have that energy. So running, getting into an exercise routine every morning, even if it's just walking or, riding a bike, doing something that is active first thing in the morning. Second, don't get on Facebook first thing in the morning. That will ruin your day. It will. So what I do is my morning routine looks like I get up, I go read a book, have my coffee, stumble into the bathroom, get dressed, and go on my run. And then after that, it's okay. Now it's get into real estate mode. I've already figured out what my night before I needed to be doing. So if it's not on my calendar, it's not getting done. So then I've kind of, this goes into previous next level trainings where you need to time block your calendar. And that is a lot of what Aaron talked about last week, which was time block your calendar, have it on your calendar so you have your steps every single day. One of the first things that you need to do when you start your real estate activities is start prospecting. Get your prospecting out of the way. I know that someone, I don't remember who, had said that calling people was like brutal to them. Figure out a way to trick your mind into communicating with people. Whether it's, okay, well, if I start out with emailing, and the way that, the way that I start cold calling people is I call one of my friends first thing in the morning. Cause then I'm like, all right, I'm in a good groove. I can talk to somebody. I've already had that first conversation. My brain and my mouth is kind of awake. And then after that, it's super easy to start going, okay, these are my numbers that I'm going to be calling, and then just get through all of my calls. So calling first thing in the morning, get your prospecting out of the way. Because what I will say is you're in real estate now. If a client can take your time, they will take your time. So if you do not get your prospecting done, it's not going to happen, and you're going to find yourself stagnant in real estate after a period of time when you do have the amount of clients. Hamir, yes, you do have to have thick skin, but honestly, if you kind of start thinking next call, best call, just next call, best call. Whatever the next call is going to be your best call. Uh-oh, I can't see. What are you saying, KJ?
I'm trying to make prospecting a habit for me. I use Redex for phone numbers, and I just track. I'm trying to figure out my numbers, like number of calls. Look at all those. Number of voicemails, number of conversations, number of like emails or further correspondence I could get back from them. But yeah, I got a couple rough interactions, but I'm at a part of my life where I just like pass it off, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've had those cold calls where they're like, what are you selling? And you're like, actually, I'm not selling anything. I'm seeing if you want to sell something. And then, you know, if you can make them laugh, then it's fine after that. You know, you just, and a lot of my cold calling, I would randomly like, you know, talk about random crap. And it wouldn't be like, do you want to sell your house? It's just talking about random crap, seeing if you can find a relationship there.
Few days we're all like, hey, you enjoying this weather? We finally got below 90. And they're like, oh yeah, I love it. Hey, what? And I'm like,
yeah, who are you and why? It's like, yeah, I'm just friendly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then making it a point when you do have those connections, handwritten notes are huge.
Yes.
So write a handwritten note saying, hey, it was great talking to you. You know, I'd love to get to know you better. Let me, you know, maybe we could meet for a virtual coffee sometime. So invite them to those sort of things where it's like, you don't necessarily have to spend your money going out to Starbucks all the time. You could do virtual coffees like this. I got my coffee cup. And that's it.
Yeah. Actually, I sent one handwritten card to someone who I got them in contact with the lender, and the lender was like, yeah, no, nothing's going to happen for a while. But I still sent that card out like, thank you for your time talking to me. And he was like, yeah, I'll let you know if I know anyone who's in a better position and looking for selling. So it's not about like, hey, you want to buy or sell right now? It's just sort of
it's the relationship. You're building relationships. Yep. So you put those people into your Moxie and start pinging them every once in a while. I literally have gotten a yes. The JBGoodwin note cards, those are huge. Well, that's my class. Hopefully it was entertaining. If not, you got a little bit, at least one piece of good I guess, granular information for you. Yes, I'm going to send